AI-ready data. It's the core foundation for every organization, for every data management to be successful with AI. And we're here at Qlik Connect, and I'm here with Sam Pearson. You're the Senior Vice President for the Data Business Unit, R&D, and I'm here with Ori Rafael. You're the Senior Director for Engineering. We're both at Qlik. We're at a beautiful event, Qlik Connect at Orlando. It's quite some atmosphere. We had the keynotes this morning. And one of the parts, of course, is AI. And then if we talk about AI, it's always talking about data. So how to get your data ready for AI, and why is this so important?
Yeah, I think, as we talk with our customers, there's a lot of people that are, they're very interested in AI. Their boards are like, hey, what's our AI strategy? What are we doing? And so lots of people are experimenting, but still a minority of them actually have these things running in production. And what we've found as talking to these users is that trusted data foundation for AI is just not there, right? And they have to think through their data strategy again. And so that's part of our strategy, is, as a holistic data platform, is also like being able to bring all of the data metrics, right? Make sure that you've got the best data that can feed these things, because all of these models, right? They're trained on the open internet. They're not trained on your corporate data.
Yeah.
And so being able to do that in a safe, secure way is really important. And that's really where we've gone.
Yeah, we noticed at the keynotes in the high 80% of the C-level executives, they want to have an AI strategy. They have an AI strategy, but the execution lacks. Yeah. Can you explain a little bit more what the role is then of the middle layer in getting this part solved, getting the data solved, getting the data readiness solved?
Yeah, and I think you see this with Qlik, the Qlik platform in general, right? There's sort of the data side of the house, there's the analytics side of the house. We've been able to bridge that gap and bring these things together more cohesively. You see it in some of the agentic frameworks that we've shipped. You see it in the copilots that are part of the product. I would just say, as you look at like bringing the data to things like Qlik Answers, right? Like you've got your structured, you've got your unstructured data. Things like how fresh is the data? Does it have quality? All of the quality metrics. Are there things missing? Are things mislabeled? Right? Like all of these things can really contribute to incorrect outcomes, hallucinations, right? When you're directly querying the LLM in the back end. And so part of the strategy that we've taken then is being able to instrument the data as we're moving it and putting it into the different targets, being able to multi-dimensionally really like look at that data, share that with the users, and then give them insights on what they need to do to fix that stuff. And that's part of, that's been one of the things that's allowed our users to get these things into production.
Yeah, and one of the announcements is the Open Lakehouse.
Yeah.
You're involved in that. Can you explain a little bit more what it is and what role it plays in getting your data ready? And especially, I think the speed is very important in this.
Yes, but even before speed, you talked about data ready for AI. One of the biggest problems of data ready for AI is that it's locked in some platform that maybe is not the perfect platform for AI.
Yeah.
The transition for the Lakehouse is the data is no longer the property of the data warehouse provider. It's your property, Mr. and Mrs. Customer. And how do you manage that data? You need an engine to do that. So, and you need a format to do that. So every data warehouse will be able to do it. So the format is Iceberg. Or the Lakehouse is the pattern, Iceberg is the specific format, and Upsolver, my company that was acquired by Qlik, is the solution to actually doing it. So the vision here is that you bring data from all the richness of sources that Qlik has, and you store it in a place that's owned by the customer. And then the customers say, I'm going to use that for AI and that for BI, and you can have 5 different query engines on top of the same layer of data, and that allows you to have AI-ready data. Another part of it is speed. It's very easy to write data, but make it actually consumable in a good way is not easy. There was a transition like this in the past, or a movement like that in the past, was called Hadoop. People were trying to build a data warehouse on the lake, and it didn't end up very well. Why? It was slow and hard to manage and too much engineering. It became a cost center instead of a value center. The vision of what we are doing here, it's not just a vision, it works, is that you get a lakehouse that has the good of the warehouse, the performance and ease of use of the warehouse, but it has the cost and openness of a data lake.
And what's then different with, for example, Hadoop in the past? What's the key why you have solved it and they didn't?
I think let's give part of the credit to Iceberg. So the fact that there is a standard to how to store data so every data warehouse can read it, that's already great because I don't need to completely throw away what I did in the past. If I used Snowflake, I can continue using Snowflake. My data is going to be stored differently. That was a major piece. I've been waiting for this for like 4 or 5 years for that to actually, since the moment we had the vision until it actually matured in the market. I think that the second part is how you're actually managing a file system. That's the core IP of a data warehouse company, how data is stored. And for data integration companies, that's not natural. Data integration companies handle data in motion. Data in rest is something else. We brought data capabilities in data at rest and how to store data in a data lake, so you will be able to, a warehouse, to query that, and it will be just as fast as querying warehouse proprietary data. That completes the picture together.
Yeah. And if we see, let's say in the landscape, we see many companies focus on the data producers, other companies focus on the data consumers. You basically combine it. Can you explain how you support the different roles within an organization with your approach?
Yes.
Yeah, I think look, Qlik has that history of the analytics user base, right? The users that love what Qlik can do in terms of analytics. And over the last few years, Qlik has moved sort of further left, right? Have with Attunity, with Talent, with Upsolver. So we've really been able to build out a great portfolio of data capabilities. I think part of this is like, we continue to support those products, right? Those are standalone products. But what we're also doing is bringing those together inside of Qlik Talent Cloud. Yeah. And I think this is like one of the things that was most appealing about Upsolver and bringing them into the fold was like, we get all these awesome capabilities of ingest, being able to do the queries, being able to do the processing, and it gives our users a lot more choice. So now when you're a user and you have to, you're building data products or you're trying to partner with your business analysts, like there's a workflow that sort of maps between these. And you saw it in the keynote, right? Like there's this agentic workflow that sort of starts with the outcome and works backwards into what data do I need, what's the SLA around that, and making sure that we can kind of bridge those roles, where historically they have been quite separate.
Which is a nice trend, but we discussed it with many other people, the agentic part. So I think it gives great insight in how to get AI-ready data. Thank you for watching here from Qlik Connect in Orlando. Ori, Sam, thanks a lot.
Great to see you.
At the same time.
Great to see you.
Thank you. Thank you for watching and look forward to seeing you next time.